Remember when going to the movies meant escaping into a world of epic explosions, unapologetic heroes, and plots that didn't require a moral compass or a sociology degree? Yeah, me neither. Because now it feels like Hollywood is hosting a mandatory seminar on how to be a better person, instead of making, fun movies. The 1980s were a golden era for cinema, a time when filmmakers didn't shy away from taking risks, breaking rules, and delivering unforgettable entertainment. Whether it was the iconic time-traveling adventures of Back to the Future, the nerve-wracking chills of the Terminator, or the whip-cracking thrills of Indiana Jones, 80s movies had something that modern films often lack: a sense of unfiltered fun. Let's dive into why 80s movies were so much cooler, and yes, that means holding today's woke offerings under the microscope. Spoiler alert, it's not looking good. In the 80s, movies didn't try to appease every possible demographic or walk the tightrope of political correctness. They were bold, brash, and most importantly, entertaining.
Take Die Hard. Did John McClane worry about offending anyone while crawling through air ducts and throwing terrorists out of windows?
No, he just saved the day and did it barefoot. Compare that to today, where every hero seems to come with a carefully curated backstory that ticks all the right diversity boxes, but often lacks, personality. The 80s were packed with characters who became legends. Marty McFly, Ellen Ripley, Ferris Bueller, and Axel Foley were relatable and larger than life all at once. They weren't there to represent anyone. They were there to kick butt and take names, sometimes literally. Nowadays, it seems like characters are constructed in a boardroom meeting. Can we make them funny, socially conscious, and totally flawless all at the same time? Great, let's also throw in a tragic backstory. CGI was in its infancy in the 80s, so filmmakers relied on practical effects and creativity. That's why the Ghostbusters proton streams and the T-800's glowing red eye still look awesome today. Meanwhile, modern blockbusters are drowning in CGI so glossy and overused that it feels like watching someone else play a video game. It's all style, no substance, if you can call excessive CGI style. Quick, hum a song from your favorite 80s movie. Easy, right? Now try doing the same for a movie released in the last 5 years. Not so easy, huh? From Eye of the Tiger to Don't You, Forget About Me, the 80s were a treasure trove of killer soundtracks that perfectly captured the mood of each film. Today's scores often feel like afterthoughts, like the filmmakers spent all their time trying to make sure the lighting was inclusive enough. Now, let's address the elephant in the theater: wokeness. There's nothing inherently wrong with telling diverse stories or addressing social issues in movies. In fact, the 80s did this too, subtly. The Breakfast Club tackled stereotypes, Do the Right Thing explored racial tension, and Blade Runner questioned the nature of humanity. But here's the kicker: they did it without feeling like a lecture. Modern movies, on the other hand, often prioritize messaging over storytelling. It's as if the scriptwriters are more concerned about earning Twitter accolades than crafting a story that audiences will remember. The result? Films that feel more like homework than entertainment. Sure, everyone loves a good, teachable moment. But does every single movie need to come with a moral checklist? Sometimes we just want to see giant robots punching each other without a subplot about the environmental impact of metal alloys. Some might argue that the love for 80s movies comes down to nostalgia. But nostalgia alone doesn't explain why those films have stood the test of time. They were built on universal themes, compelling characters, and unforgettable moments. Even younger generations who didn't grow up with them are discovering and loving these classics. It's not about looking back. It's about recognizing what worked and why. Not all hope is lost for today's cinema. When filmmakers put storytelling first, the results can still be incredible. Look at Top Gun, Maverick. It managed to bring back the swagger of the 80s while still feeling fresh and modern. The key? It focused on telling a great story rather than trying to make a statement. If Hollywood wants to recapture the magic of the 80s, they need to stop trying so hard to educate audiences and start aiming to entertain them. Because at the end of the day, the coolest thing a movie can do is let us forget our problems for 2 hours and remind us why we fell in love with the magic of cinema in the first place.